We're back, we're filming a video. It's a new year, let's go. What is up, you guys? It is Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. I know, okay, hello? Let me start over. It's been a while, give me a minute. It's Bebe, welcome back to my channel. So, it's been a minute. Hello, we're back, it's a new year. After I finished my Ember Shores videos, I just took a little time off from filming and editing just to kind of have a little break and also to think about content for this year and where I'm headed and what we're about to get into this year. So happy new year, welcome back. I kind of wanted my first video this year to be some type of reflection on last year's events, and I was going to do like a ranking the festivals I went to in 2021, but I'm also just a firm believer that you can't really rank festivals in comparison to each other because every festival is so different. Like, you can't compare, for example, Lost Lands to EDC Las Vegas, you know what I mean? And you can't compare EDC Las Vegas to Ember Shores. Like, very different vibes, very different events. So I am instead going to just talk about each festival I went to and the pros and cons of each. I know I kind of do this in my recap videos, but this is more just a condensed version and just overall thoughts on every festival I went to last year, especially now as a lot of you guys like myself are building out your 2022 schedules. This could be a good way for you to kind of learn more about an event that you might be thinking of going to. If you want to get more of a better first-hand feel for any of these festivals, I highly recommend checking out my vlogs. I will have a card up here to my vlogs playlist. This is the best way to get a feel for any event, truly. Vlogs are the way to go. Don't look at reviews online, don't look at EDM publication, like girl, look at vlogs. Vlogs are the real deal. So I will have a card up here if you want to watch any of those, or if you want to binge them, you know, like a little Netflix show. How cute. We're just gonna get right into it. I have some notes here. Also, if you are new here, be sure to subscribe. I will have so much new content this year. We are almost at 3K. Thank you very much. First festival I went to in 2021 was Sunset Music Festival in Tampa. This was over Memorial Day weekend. It was a 2-day event, and it was my return to festivals after the fucking year and a half that I did not go to anything because of COVID. SMF, there's a lot of things I liked, things I didn't like. Overall cons, the weather. Girl, that was literally the hottest festival I've ever been to. It was like 95-ish during the day, and it's Florida, so it's humid 95 degrees. Not a fan. I was not doing well. We stayed in the cool down tent for a lot of time, and they also have these little fans with like water spraying out of them. I used those a lot. Thank you, Disco Donnie, because your girl was struggling. So yeah, it's really fucking hot, and it takes place mostly during the day. If it was more so at night, it wouldn't be a problem. That's kind of like EDC, although I went to EDC in October, but you know, like EDC in May during the day, it's toasty, but then at night it's like comfortable, you know? SMF was not comfortable. That shit was hot. It was very hot, but we survived. Another con is that the production was like, okay. I wasn't gonna complain at that point in time because I hadn't been to a festival in God knows how long, so it wasn't a big deal to me then, but now I look back on the videos and I'm like, I know a lot of it is because I've heard they can never get a laser permit because they're right by the airport, and also, so there's no lasers, which lasers can like truly make a set, you know what I mean? And then also the fireworks like get launched from like the stadium like behind the stage, so it's not like that epic, you know? Like, you see the fireworks and you're like, oh cute, but it's not like wowza, like, you know? Again, was not gonna complain for the first festival back. I truly was not. But that's just something to keep in mind. Like, I don't want this video to be like negative. Now I'm second guessing if I should do this. I don't want to say like cons, but it's fine. The people want to know. It's fine. Last con of SMF is that the transportation is kind of hellish if you're not driving yourself. I know because there's no, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not think there are shuttles for SMF. If there is, I totally missed that marketing and advertising. I'm pretty sure it's all Ubers, if I remember correctly. So the first day we did Ubers, and it was, getting there is not an issue. It's getting home that's always the problem with Ubering to a festival or from a festival. Where's the sun going? No, come back. So the second day we have a friend who lives in Florida and was able to drive us to and from the event. So that was fine. Like, that was way easier, but just like calling an Uber that first night was it was a nightmare. It took forever. So and that always just like kills the vibe at the end of the night, you know what I mean? So I highly recommend, if you're going to SMF, get a car, rent a car. If you're driving to Florida from wherever, just drive yourself to the festival sober. Do not drive fucked up. Thank you. Okay, pros about SMF. Let's get into some positives. The lineup, fantastic. The lineup for SMF last year was so fucking good. They had like the night-based takeover, so you had the house vibes, but then there was also a lot of bass music. Like there was a little of everything. I appreciated that. I always appreciate that in a lineup. It's also really easy to navigate the festival grounds. Everything is pretty close together. So like if you are like me and want to see a lot of artists, you can do that super easily and just go from stage to stage. And it's just a very like chill 2-day event. I think it's a good one like to just add to your schedule if you want to see a lot of artists but don't want to do like a fucking pilgrimage like EDC Vegas or something like that. It's just a really easy event. If you're local in Florida, I suggest going. I will not be attending this year just because it's Memorial Day weekend again, so it's like the weekend after EDC Vegas, and I just don't have the desire to go to a festival the weekend after EDC Vegas. It's also 3 days this year, which is dope because I remember waking up on Monday morning after SMF and I was like, I could use a 3rd day, but I don't know. I won't be attending this year. I don't know if I'll ever return in the future. But I did have a great time. I was able to go through POLLEN because I was an ambassador, so I sold enough tickets that I got to go for free. So that was super dope and I appreciated that a lot. I just don't know when I will ever return. It's just hard because EDC is like right around the same time. So make of that what you will. So technically the next festival that was on my schedule for 2021 was Electric Zoo Festival. However, last year I ended up working on the team in the end instead of attending. So I feel like I can't really speak to the pros and cons of 2021 just because I was behind the scenes rather than in the scenes, you know what I'm saying? I would go reference other people's videos or talk to people who went last year to get the full vibe because your girl was working, so I did not experience it as an attendee last year. However, ezoo is my home festival. I live in New York. I got a love for it in my heart, you know? You live in New York, you go to ezoo, it's the law. So yeah, I'm hoping to work it again this year. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I love Electric Zoo. It holds a special place in my heart because it's my home city. So next up, let's talk about Lost Lands, bitch. I just saw Excision posted like last week that tickets are going on sale in a couple weeks, and I just like immediately went back to my camera roll and started looking at all my old videos and pictures from Lost Lands last year, and I'm definitely planning on going again this year. I'm not buying passes to anything for now because I'm trying to get my finances right for this year, so we will see, but I'm definitely planning on going for sure. So let's just talk about pros and cons. Cons, number 1. I just wrote down one word here. It just says Ohio. Here's the thing. Legend Valley is sick. It's just like truly in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like it is in bumblefuck, Ohio. So it's a little tricky. I know people who like I can't imagine camping at Lost Lands. I know everyone says you have to do it, it's part of the experience, but like the thought of like having to like fly into Ohio and like figure out getting all the camping shit and then driving to that middle of nowhere, but like it's a lot to plan if you're coming from a place like New York. I'll camp one year. I'm not gonna camp again this year, also because last year the whole camping situation was really messy with like getting in, and I just heard so many horror stories from people. If you were in tune, then you know, like some people literally waited like 2 days to get into camp and get to their spot. So that kind of scared the fuck out of me, and now I like don't want to camp at Lost Lands even though everyone drags me for it and says that I need to because it's part of the experience. I will do it one year, okay? I promise. It's just not gonna be this year again. Okay, another con about Lost Lands is the terrain, which you're probably like, what? Legend Valley is very like, it's not flat. Like it's super hilly and there are fucking rocks everywhere. Like I can't even tell you how many times I ate shit at Lost Lands. Like I was stumbling all around like a giraffe that just learned how to walk. It was so bad. I saw some girls wearing platforms at Lost Lands. They could get away with murder, I swear to God, because the amount of skill that takes, like, I was falling all around. I don't know if I ever told this story in my recap for Lost Lands, but I fully like pulled something in my knee on the first day. We were walking from stage to stage, like going down one of the hills, and I was a little drunk. She was a little drunk, but I was like walking and there was a giant rock and I like stepped on it like funny and then like fell a little bit and I literally felt something in my knee like pull and like my knee gave out. Yeah, so then for the next 2 days, like I was in so much pain in that knee and I was a little concerned when I came home because then I had an EDC coming up and like for a week after that when I was walking around in the city, like that shit hurted. Not gonna lie, I was a little concerned. So yeah, Lost Lands, you're on a fucking hike sometimes, but you know what? It's all about the journey. And then the last con is the fucking neck pain. When I came back, I actually couldn't like move my head. Like I worked with a neck pillow around me and like slept with a neck pillow for probably like 2 days afterwards. It was really embarrassing because that's the genre for 3 days straight. Bring the Advil, bring a neck pillow, just know that you're going to push your neck and your back to its breaking point. Or maybe I'm just getting old, I don't know. Okay, pros for Lost Lands. Some of the best energy I've ever experienced at a festival. Like people are so much fun. Bass music people, like I'm sorry, but they are the funniest. They bring the best energy. They just have the most random shit in the crowds. Like some guy was literally like spinning pizza dough in the crowd. A bunch of people brought one of those like parachute things that you used to use in gym class as a kid and would like run and sit under it during the drop of a song. Like I just think about some of the shit I saw at Lost Lands and it's just so fun. Like people are so funny at Lost Lands. Your stomach will hurt from laughing so hard. Energy is amazing, vibes are on point, and I love Lost Lands because it truly is about the music. Like it is not one of those like influencer heavy festivals because I don't fuck with that. Like you're not gonna go to Lost Lands unless you like dubstep, and with dubstep you either like it or you don't. Like you can't fake it. You can fake liking the music at like EDC or some shit because there's so many mainstream artists that you can just like go and be like, oh my god, like Zed, Tiesto, blah. But Lost Lands, you can't fucking do that. Like you are in with the shits for 3 days, and if you don't like bass music, I like Lost Lands because you lose a lot of that like just like influencer, don't really care about the music, just want to take Instagram pictures crowd. So, and even in, I was lucky enough to have VIP for Lost Lands this year, and even in VIP, like people were going so hard. Like they used like the barricades of the VIP section as a rail. People were decked the fuck out in Excision merch, like truly bass music fans, and I just love that. I love when it's about the music and nothing else. And so that was probably my biggest pro about Lost Lands, just like that energy, that vibe, and that collective experience. Like we're all there for the bass music, all there for the wubs. It's a grand old time. The bass is so fucking loud. I lost earplugs like twice and I had to keep going to VIP concierge to get more because you cannot go without earplugs at Lost Lands. The production is fucking crazy. Main stage is massive. I like didn't really realize how big the main stage at Lost Lands was until I walked in and looked at it and I was like, and I also love that because then there's more space in the crowd to just vibe out, dance, have a good time. Like, oh, it was just so good. Lost Lands is so good. Definitely planning on it for this year. So if you're going, I will see you there. Let's talk about EDC Vegas, baby. The fucking pilgrimage of all EDM pilgrimages. Is that a word? Can you make that plural? I hope so. It is the Mecca. It is the fucking Mecca of dance music, okay? So let's get into it. Cons. Again, like Lost Lands where it's one word, Ohio, for EDC Las Vegas, cons, one word, bender. This is one of the most intense benders you will ever go on in your life. You will quite literally push your body to its breaking point. Just to put it into perspective, I went back and counted how many steps I took from my health app on my phone, and it was 91,106 steps total. If we want to break that down even more, because I did Google, okay, I crunched some numbers. Apparently 2,000 steps is the equivalent of a mile. Granted, okay, a lot of these steps were like me jumping around dancing in the crowd, but the same level of exercise, right? 2,000 steps is 1 mile, so that is approximately 45 miles walked. That's like me like leaving Manhattan right now and walking to fucking Connecticut. It is a huge ass festival. you gotta be ready. If you want to see multiple artists or have like a wide taste in dance music like I do, it can be tricky seeing a lot of people with how far apart certain stages are. So I normally don't go into festivals with like too much of a schedule or a plan, but for EDC I actually had to like have somewhat of a plan to make sure I could see everyone I wanted to. So yeah, it's a lot of walking, it's intense, it's literally partying for 4 days straight if you're camping and you have that day of like the pre-party and everything. I think I slept maybe 5-6 hours over 4 days. My sleep schedule knew no peace after Vegas. I came home and it was not normal for like days. It's crazy. You have to catch up on a lot of sleep, especially if you're camping like I was. The camping, like pool parties, well, forget about the pool parties. The RVs and their little sound camp literally starts at like 10:30 in the morning. Then the pool parties are at like noon, 1. And then opening ceremonies at like 5:36. And then the festival goes until, what is it, like 5:30, 6 in the morning. The afters at camp go till like 8:30. And then the 10:30, the sound camp starts again. Bitch, I'm telling you, like earplugs, eye mask, melatonin, the whole 9 yards, because it's a lot. The other con, obviously, with EDC Vegas is that it's very expensive. You got a budget for this one. Even just like Vegas in general, getting to Vegas, flights, if you're gonna stay on the strip the night before going into camp, or if you're just staying on the strip for the whole festival, like it's a lot. Now, for the pros, because that was all very negative Nelly and kind of makes it sound like I hate EDC. EDC Las Vegas was probably one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, and I will go there every year humanly possible until the day I die. Which are probably like, how? After all of those fucking cons. But I'm just like, especially in combination with camping, I can't recommend Camp EDC enough. You're truly fucking immersed in a different world for 4 days. Like, just everything about it is so magical. The lineup is unmatched. It has every genre, which, like, it's so hard to find, no pun intended, hard dance on other major lineups in the States. And like, there's hard dance representation. There's so much going on. Like, there's a trance stage, a house and techno stage, like, just, oh, it's so well curated. Best production I've ever seen in my life for an EDM festival, on God. Like, the top 2 that I've seen is EDC Vegas and Ultra. But the thing about EDC Vegas is that it's way more immersive, like walking from stage to stage. Like, there's so many like lights and colors and like things going on and performers, whereas Ultra, it's like insane top tier production, but then it's like, oh, there's Miami, like I'm still in Miami. EDC, you feel like you're in a different world. So that's why I think it's the best production I've ever seen. Just everything is so well thought out. It's a beautiful experience. I feel like, and I think I mentioned this in my EDC recap, but like I've been raving for how many years now? I started when I was like 18, 19. This year I'm going on 24. So I feel like you have your first rave or EDM experience and it's so life-changing and it's beautiful and it's transformative. Then the more you go to, it's like, okay, it's still amazing and great, but nothing is like the magic of that first event you go to. EDC Vegas, in 2021, EDC Vegas and Trilogy, which I didn't put Trilogy on this list because it's not really a festival, but those 2 events are the closest thing I have felt to like my first rave experience. I can't. Like, the whole week after EDC, I couldn't shut the fuck up about EDC. Like, oh my God, I just sat there like watching my videos and looking at my pictures for so long. Editing my vlogs was actually like emotional. It was, oh my God. EDC, like, I'm definitely planning on going this year. Don't have a pass, but I do have a tent, so I will be camping. I will leave it at that because I could go on for this whole video about fucking EDC Vegas. Okay, but we're gonna talk about a different EDC now. We're gonna talk about EDC Orlando. Super quick, I've done EDC Orlando more than once now, so I feel like I've kind of got my bearings on it. Cons, the pickpocketing at this festival is fucking crazy. I have a lunchbox, which is like an anti-theft hydration pack, so I never have to worry about this, but like for other people in our group who don't have lunchboxes or just like keep their phones in their pocket, like people lose their shit always at EDC Orlando and get it stolen. Also, the area surrounding the festival grounds is a little sketchy when you're trying to get home at night. It's not the best area, so not fun to experience after a festival. And the last con is that the weather can be really unpredictable because it's Florida. So it'll be like bright and sunny and then all of a sudden it'll start downpouring and everyone's like running towards whatever one stage has a fucking structure over it, Neon Garden. So you have to be prepared for that. Sometimes it can be a buzzkill, but normally Florida, like, rain passes fast, so it's fine. But yeah, that's happening happened like both times I've gone now. It's like rained out of nowhere and you're like, oh, and like no one's really prepared for it. Yeah. Pros for EDC Orlando. I like that it's like a tame, like watered down version of EDC Vegas. So the production is still great, the lineup is still great, but it's like easier on your body, I guess. Vibes are generally good. Also, being from the East Coast, it's kind of like a big one. Well, us in the Northeast don't count Florida as the East Coast, but if you were to, the only major dance music events we have are Electric Zoo, EDC Orlando, and Ultra. I know there's like smaller ones sprinkled in there, but those are like the 3 main ones. So everyone and their mother goes to EDC Orlando. So it's a great place for like us East Coast people to like meet up, see people we haven't seen in a while, and just vibe, and it's a good time. So I've really loved that about EDC Orlando. I feel like I see a lot of people I haven't seen in a hot minute. And also it's very low priced for being a 3-day Insomniac event. I think if you like buy a pass as soon as you can, it's like $200, which is crazy because the production is insane and it's 3 days and it's Insomniac. Like normally they charge a lot, so it really doesn't break the bank and it's just a good time. I think it's a great first festival for someone, and I don't know if I'll be going this year. On the fence, because I do, and I'm about to get into Ember Shores. I think this year I would rather spend the money I would spend on EDC Orlando on like extra days at Ember Shores to like have a nice little trip out of it. But we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, EDC Orlando is just so easy and convenient that I might just end up back there again. Last but not least, let's talk about Ember Shores. So this was my last festival of 2021. 3 days, Cancun, Mexico, all-inclusive, curated by Millennium. Already a winner in my book. 2021 was the first year they did this, so I was super excited and also a little like, not concerned, but like apprehensive about how it was gonna go, because first year festivals are tricky. Cons, it's expensive as fuck. It's worth it in my opinion, which I'll get into in a minute with the pros, but you definitely need to budget for this one. Like it's minimum $1,000. Like the cheapest room at the Paradisus is $1,000 per person. That includes everything, like food, drink, festival ticket. It's everything except your flights, but it's not like a festival that you can just like, and the rooms sell out so fast too. So if you're gonna go, you need to like plan, so you need to be able to afford it so you can keep doing the payment plan or just pay up front. So it's expensive. And then the only other cons I really have is that sometimes the lines were really long for food, like the main food buffet area, and also the drinks. The lines for drinks by the beach stage at night, just that time of the day, because that was the only bar open and it was on the beach where the stage was, so that's where everyone was, because it's only one stage operating at one time. So at any given time there's only one set going on, so everyone was using those bars. So the lines, like sometimes you would wait like 15-20 minutes for a drink, which sucked, but can you really complain? You're in fucking Cancun. So also the food was like it wasn't great, but it also wasn't horrible, but like I don't know, sometimes I would just be like, but they also have restaurants, so if you want to make reservations at restaurants, you can do that. My group was just way too fucking all over the place to do that more than once, so we only did one reservation. Pros of Ember Shores: all-inclusive, baby. This shit was so worth it. I mean, I think it was worth the price with how much alcohol I consumed alone, like before we even got to the food. Okay, I may or may not drink like a fish, but I didn't have to take out my card all weekend. That's a fucking vibe. Thank you. All my favorite genres of dance music. They had somewhat variety, but like for me, I'm a melodic bass girl. I like bass music, melodic bass, drum and bass, and that was mostly Ember Shores was all melodic bass, dubstep, a little bit of drum and bass, a little bit of trance, a little bit of house. So it was everything I like. So I had a great time. Very chill atmosphere. I talked about this in the recap, but because it's so small, I think the capacity was like 2,000 people, and that's it. The artists were just having fun in their sets. They would go like surprise back-to-backs, and you could just tell that they were just having a good time and playing what they wanted to play, because it wasn't like an EDC or whatever where like they have to like curate their set more intently. Like it was just so chill. Like you could tell they were all having so much fun, and also the artists stay in the resort as well, so you just like run into them and they're just like so chill. Just a very like casual atmosphere, which I really appreciated. And the fucking setting is magical. Like the resort is beautiful. You're on the fucking beach in Cancun, Mexico. Hello, the drinks are flowing. everything is just on point. The third day we literally just went down to the pool. I think it was Fury and Dino were on, and then we just went down to the beach, sat in the beach lounge chairs and listened to fucking drum and bass and watch the waves crash. Bury me at Ember Shores. The sunset sets on the beach at that stage are insane. I had like full body chills for a lot of this festival. It was just so beautiful. And this year I'm definitely staying longer, so like I just said about EDC Orlando, I would love to stay like almost a full week, because leaving that festival was the most painful thing in the world. Like waking up and going straight to the airport after the third day was miserable. I was so sad. I wish I could have stayed longer. So this year I'm gonna make it happen. In December, like coming from New York where it's already cold and miserable here, being on a tropical beach was everything I needed at that point in the year. So I will be doing that again for a longer period of time. So I'm definitely gonna be at Ember Shores again in 2022. That is it for the pros and cons of every festival I went to this year. Jesus Christ, this video was so long. I apologize, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, got some more info, insight on these events. And if you have any more questions about any of them, leave them down below. Always happy to answer. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.